How you guys doing today? I am Webtoon King, and today I'll be doing Bill King Chapter 6, the renovation of an upside down castle. So let's get to the video. So chapter 5 ended with Rango and Takashi finally getting to Cock. Yeah, her name needs to change. Cock. Her home. They finally make it there, and they're shocked about the castle being upside down like any person would be. So we move on to Nana speaking to the watch like, what the hell? Why are they going to Capo Ville? And then he gets a phone call, and Nana also mentioned that the castle they're going to is a D-rank environment with evil creatures. So I don't know what that means yet, but I guess we're gonna find out later. So he also gets a call from Capo, yeah, just talking about there's a master carpenter meeting. They need to get something done, and there was an accident that just happened at one of the sites. So they're telling him to come back, but he's like, I can't think about that right now. He's basically like, I got other shit to worry about, and they told him to hurry back. So he ends the call. He's like, fuck, nothing. Like he's like, shit, nothing's going right with anything today. So that's how we end up next scene. The next scene where you see our I would say two main characters, because we don't know. I feel like she ended up following us at the end for some reason, because manga tend to always have two boys and one girl. So whatever, I'm rambling on at this point. So we end up we're close to the upside down castle. So the closer we get, we notice a town, and she tells them that the town is called Battleville, and okay, I guess that's a crazy name. And Battleville is filled with a bunch of civilians, so a bunch of people are living on top of the castle. So I guess the king is not a bad person, because he looks like a vampire, but yeah, he's letting people live on top of his castle. And so we also, from the understanding of Takashi, he mentioned that the high speed is the closer they got to the upside down castle, he didn't want to keep going with them, so he stayed back. So, and we also, I guess, didn't try to hide her identity or anything. Like regular manga was just like try to hold that shit for the longest, but regular people on the goddamn Battleville town, they were like, hey, princess, blah blah, and then Takashi looked at her like, wait, are you a princess or a boss? She was like, oh no, I'm a princess. Don't I act like it? Takashi looked at her like, hell fucking no, you don't act like it. The fuck? So they finally get to the edge of the village, because they had to go down to the upside down castle, and then we see a gate to get past the gate, and then she's like walking down, and they're looking at her like, hold up, you sure we're not gonna fall? And she's like, nah, bro, I've got gecko shoes. And they're like, the fuck is a gecko shoes? And she's like, oh, I almost forgot that you guys are not wearing that. I was like, hold up, motherfucker, you gonna kill two main characters? What's wrong with this bitch? She completely forgot. So apparently these shoes are like, it basically stick to the wall, stick to that structure and stuff, meaning that's how they're able to like walk that all the way down. But she was like, man, I can't get you shoes right now. So she was like telling them to use the steps, and Takashi was telling his brother to get on him so he can go down with him on his back. So they finally get to inside the castle, and she's like, Papa. And the dad is like, he's just staring at them. He's like, man, I don't trust these kids for real, for real. Like, you sure they can do it? Who the hell are they? Like, they look like street rats and stuff. Basically just shit on them. And she was like, well, everybody else didn't want to do it, and they were brave enough to come do it. And he's like, man, I don't trust them. Who was their master? And they were like looking at him. He was like, Shovel. And he was like, wait, what? Shovel? What the fuck? And both of them look at him like, yo, you know our master? He's like, who doesn't know our master? He's a third generational Bill Master. He also runs a group called the Carpenters. Yeah, original fucking name, I guess. And they're the only team in history close to cracking the code of Bill King. So he's also the closest to being a Bill Master, which I don't get because he is a Bill Master. So I'm guessing is that there's a rank and that highest is Bill Master, but I would assume they mean like the king of all Bill Masters, like the top of the top. I don't know why they didn't just say another name, or maybe I'm just reading this wrong, because they already call him a Bill Master, and all these people I've seen other people call Bill Master wherever. So basically he tells him that, and then Tekashi and Rango looking like, we didn't realize that he was such a cool guy, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh yeah, that's right, he did say he was gonna go work on a Bill King, I guess. So when the king of the Kings found out that their master is Shovel, his eye pops out, and it stays like that for the rest of the chapter, I guess. And so he started being nice to him. He's like, hey, come in, blah blah blah. I guess Shovel is really that respected. And then we get to meet the butler, and she introduced the butler, and I'm not gonna say his name because it's too hard. And she introduced the butler and called the rest of the people behind him the no-name staff. So they're like, what the fuck? No name. And so, Tekashi's looking at them like, why aren't you guys hanging upside down? Good. And the butler tells him that the reason, I guess we found out why the king head is so big. The reason that their heads are so big is because when you hang upside down, the blood rushes to your head, making it bigger. But the new generation, aka Z generation, don't believe in that, so they don't want to hang upside down. So that's why all of them look normal. So the butler reports. He looks at him. No, first of all, before he reports to them, he looks at the king. He's like, King, your eyes, because his eyes are still pop out from the fact that they found out Shovel was their master. So the butler reports to him there's a gang planning to do some shit, and the king is like, hey, let's go ahead and handle this shit. So Tekashi takes out his hammer. He's like, hey, let's get ready. He's about to destroy a castle. And like Cock look at him like, hold up, bitch, you haven't looked at the blueprints yet. So she brings them to the room. She's like, this is the first time you guys been to the girls' room. Don't steal my panties. And Tekashi's like, who the fuck would steal this shit? Wow, this manga is wild as fuck, right? So they look at the blueprints and everything. And Rango is like, who did this? She's like, we don't know. It was built like 10,000 years ago, basically. So we don't know. It wasn't registered with the bill or something. So I guess you gotta register whenever you build a house, so they know who did it and blah blah blah. So Cobb finally gives the blueprint to Tekashi, but Tekashi hangs it over to his little brother Rango. And Cobb look at him like, you can't read blueprints, can you? So she tells him you can destroy a certain part of the castle because. So Tekashi goes out. Well, she gives him the shoes, the gecko shoes. And he goes out, he tries to destroy the castle, but some part of the castle. For some reason, he can't destroy it. It gets strong as hell, so we hopefully find out what material this is made out. And so Rango is walking with Cock, and she's like, well, he asks her like, what's up with all these pictures of house beasts? and she basically tells him that these are house beasts that lived a long time ago. And we get to, and she also mentioned that the dragon spine road that they saw on the way here it was one of the dragons that used to live a long time ago. He was basically like the king of all house beasts, well, king of anything. So that's why the house beast didn't want to get close, because even though it's dead, the energy of him is still in there. It's like a dog when the dog pissed and he claimed his territory. So the house beast was too scared, and we finally get to see a portrait of the dragon. And the chapter ends off we see a flashback of the king and the cop, and she tells him, "Oh, the castle is falling apart. I'm gonna become a designer so I can design the castle." So I guess that's where she got her motivation. That's how the chapter ended. So hope you guys subscribe, comment down below, and have a nice day.